I'm alive.
Kind of. Say 80s and all sorts of stuff on there. Oh yeah! Full. Yes, I did catch it.
Evening everybody, welcome back to the Timber Online Airsoft YouTube channel. In case it did escaped your attention, I have a more Muppet in. We have Spectre back.
Hello.
God.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I had regained some of my sanity.
No, you hadn't.
It's that time of year again where well, you know us by now, we're not wired up right, so we get up to some stuff, yeah, at site. So we are going to do, should be, if I upload it on time, the Christmas special, with just, as we've titled it, well actually as Matt titled it, Funny Shit That Happened. Demonetised. Not that I'm monetised anyway, but funny shit that happened this year. Whether it be myself, Im, another one of our team members, or just funny stuff that's happened at site that we've caused.
Or got caught on camera.
Or we've caught on camera. So, we're going to kick this off with you literally deflating somebody's day.
Would I do a thing like that?
Yes.
Those of you that have been watching the channel for a while will know that we have an eclectic taste in melee weapons. Excuse you. One of them. This was one of them this year. Caused a bit of a laugh in the safe zone when I.
So has anybody got any weird and wonderful melee weapons? No.
Yeah, so got a bit of a laugh, and I think one or two of the marshals were kind of eager for me to get a kill with a whoopee cushion, and I did actually manage to that day.
You didn't disappoint.
No, twice, but not once again in the morning.
There's a first for everything.
Anyway, so on the village map where we usually play, those of you that have played there will know that the standard game is attack from the top, defend from the bottom. And those of you that have been watching the channel for more than 5 minutes will know that I have a habit of getting behind the enemy lines and attacking the village from the area of which they least expect it.
It's good military tactics, two-pronged assault. Except for usually it's like 40 people attacking from one direction or one attacking from the other.
Hey, it's me. That's all you need. Anyway, so this rental player, I'm right by the back perimeter of the play zone. I see him come through the trees, make himself rather comfortable behind this log because his team's falling apart sort of faster than a chocolate fire guard. And he gets nice and comfy behind this log, gets his gun up on it, ready to repel all. I walk up behind him relatively silently, gun in one hand, this in the other, put it on his back and just went. He looked round over his shoulder to see me standing over him, giggling my its off. And if looks could kill, I'd have been cremated.
Yeah, he wasn't best pleased, was he?
No, it certainly deflated his day. That much is for sure.
It's not something they expect when they think they are the last line of defence and all of the attackers are going to come down at them and all of a sudden they hear and they get Matt laughing maniacally, towering above them to look round and go, fucking hell that.
And then straight after that I walked into the village, right in front of where all the dead players congregate. There's this little kid sat at the base of the tree, and I said to him, are you still in the game? And he went, yeah. So I went, not anymore, you're not, and walked off. Yeah, that's pretty much what the whole of his team did.
Yeah, we considering how the dead zone normally works when you're on that match, is the edge of the field stops at a dirt track, and all the dead players line that dirt track. So it's quite a good theatre experience, especially when you happen to be near that dirt track in your live players and the whole of the enemy team is watching you take out one of their players. It does make them feel about this big, which is fun. This is actually my one as well. I don't know what your one is.
It's mine. Are they real?
No, these normally are. Right, let's get rid of that. Right.
Right.
Now,
it's one for you.
this one is another reason why I've got this. But, come on, I redeemed myself and people were shocked that I managed to do this afterwards.
Till it broke again.
Yeah, but that wasn't my doing the second time, so I don't care. I fixed it anyway again. But anyway, those of you who are regulars to the channel will remember Matt's MP5, which is basically one of the oldest guns in our combined armoury. This point I was chatting to somebody whilst crossing the whilst crossing the bridges at our local site. Bit of a damp day, wasn't it? So the bridges were a little bit slippy. Well, I was taking the mickey and saying, be careful not to slip on here, and talking about this Air MP5 and holding it like this. At which point...
You went arse over tit.
Yeah, I went arse over tit, landing on the MP5 and snapping it into about 6 different bits. Much to the amusement of half the players who were watching me cross the bridge.
I wasn't amused.
Matt wasn't amused because it's his gun.
You'd already broken yours that day.
I had already broken mine that day, which is why I was using his. But I landed obviously on the ground, dismantling the MP5, and then proceeded to sit there in the mud on my arse whilst one of the marshals was doing the game brief, and with literally no tools, a little bit of electric tape, and that was it. Fully reassembled this MP5, and it worked a treat the rest of the day, didn't it?
Yeah.
You got a load of players just going, is he doing what he is doing? How is he? It was... Because like I say, I mean, when I say it dismantled, the upper receiver had come away from the lower receiver, the barrel had come away from the hop unit, the handguard had come away from the front of the receiver, the charging handle had popped out, the mag had popped out, and the buttstock had popped off. And I managed to put it all back together with no tools and just a small amount of electric tape. And I don't mean a small amount of electric tape to actually hold it together. It was just to hold the, I think it was just to hold the upper barrel, wasn't it? Because the barrel had split. It was just to stop it from sliding forwards. I just put a bit of tape around it. And it worked a treat for the rest of the day because I used it for the rest of the day. So,
but we kept him off the bridges.
Yes, I wasn't allowed to cross the bridges. In fact, there's some footage, I can't remember how many videos back, of me crossing the bridge using my VSR as a walking stick. Yeah, that was after I went arse over tit and dismantled an MP5 without any tools, then rebuilt it without any tools. Anywho, this is another, well, it's me and a bit of you as well. Again, we was playing on the village. I was actually using said VSR. I had a sidearm. I had my Raven 1911, and I'm sat in the open because there was a group of guys who kept coming out from behind the same building about 6 or 7 times, and I just sat there plinking them every single time. They'd go dead, go back around the building, come back out the same door of the building, dead, and kept doing the same thing again. So I'm aiming down my sight. Obviously, a lot of you know I'm left-handed, so I'm aiming down the sight, and I just happened to glance up. And I saw, and I can't remember his name, I'm sorry, it's a ginger fella at site who pretty much uses only AKs or shotguns. I looked up to see him belting full pelt, ignoring everything, straight towards me with his shotgun. Well, he was too close for me to use my sniper rifle, and I was sort of laying sort of half crouching on my pistol because it was on the right-hand side, so I couldn't pull that. So all I could do was stand up screaming like a little girl and do an impression of a gazelle up the field. Well, I'm screaming like a little girl this whole time. He's in fits of hysterics, so every time he pulls the trigger he couldn't shoot. He's like this. Then we just suddenly heard this little maniacal chuckle and a 5.56 roar into life and blat him up the arse. He was behind a tree behind where I was sat, and we just heard and took out Shotgun Sally. But I think if I've still got it, I'll insert the footage somewhere around here of me going up the field screaming like a girl, and then hear him in fits, and then get blatted by Matt. So yeah, that was. It was one of them you had to have been there, because it must have been fucking hilarious to see some 17-stone fella in full plate carrier, everything, with a sniper rifle and a pistol, suddenly stand up, scream like a 5-year-old, and belt up a field, going 7 time, 7 time, 7 time, with a guy chasing him with a gas shotgun, pissing himself laughing, not being able to shoot anything. So yeah, that was very interesting. In fact, that was actually the first time 2 of our newer members of Thin Brown Line, actual players, were there, which was Tank Girl and Cage Bat, Andy and Helen. They're new additions to the team this year.
Mm.
So's Alan, I think, actually, isn't it? Or was he tail end of last year?
He looks like the tail end of something. Hello, Alan. Love you.
I'm waiting to read the comments.
Just remember, new YouTube rules.
Yeah. Keep it clean. So, we've now got one of our personal favourites.
Yes, this one we've called A Bridge Too Far.
For them.
Yeah, for them. Those of you that attend site will know that this year they've finally got the bridges back in action. And I think this was one of the first weekends we were allowed to play on them, wasn't it?
Yes. No, was the first weekend I was allowed to play it again.
Yeah. Anyway, it was part of a pushback. They had to get the laptop up to the top of the hill. Bridges are in the way. And they had to go across the main bridge. All our team had been taken out. We're all behind the bridge and on the bridge defending it. Me and him.
They had a distinct lack of tactical judgment when
they managed to clear the bridge quite effectively by the use of grenades. Me and him are on the other side behind another barricade, and
I got shot.
No, well,
to begin with, we
were on the flanks.
We were flanked tooth and nail to begin with. Then I got shot and moved.
Well, I was going to tell them about the fact that they cleared the bridge, and then me and you went back onto it because we weren't on the bridge. You nudged me and said they just cleared the bridge.
Well, yeah, okay then.
So we ran back onto the bridge to be met with the enemy team pushing across the bridge with the laptop right at the front of their group. I've got my 5.56. I think you got.
I was using the M15A4.
Yeah.
With the big mag.
So we come round the corner, let loose with our automatic weapons. The laptop ends up sat in the middle of the bridge. I take cover behind a bit of chipboard. You're behind.
I'll behind a couple of 50-gallon barrels.
And we started to hold them off. What, about 5-10 minutes in, I think, like you said, you got
about
hit.
5 minutes or so, and this is the important bit. I gets taken out and moved up to our next fallback point, which is about 110 metres away in the compound. Remember, about 110, 115 metres-ish away from where Matt was stood. Well, where Matt was crouching.
Yes.
Where I got killed. So I moved all the way back to there. I was carrying a sniper rifle, which most people at this point would say 110, 115 metres, no point. So
there I am, thinking I'm all on my own.
Singing to himself.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I was doing a very good...
You was having fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, they kept coming up onto the bridge trying to get the laptop and didn't realise I was there until the 5.56 jumped up and said hello.
Mm.
I got 3 marshals on the bridge with me who were in absolute hysterics because, unfortunately for this team, there was nowhere for them to hide.
No, because the way the bridge was set up, they've slightly changed it now.
Yeah, I think they changed it the following morning.
You've got... At one end of the bridge, you've got basically nothing. It is just empty. You just come up the bridge, and then you get into the middle of the bridge, and there's sort of a couple of staggered barricades. And then as you go down the opposite side of the bridge, there was a barricade with a slot cut in it, so you can look through it and then pop out and shoot. Matt was behind that. So they had nowhere to hide until they got into the middle of the bridge. So Matt's obviously every time they come up running up the bridge, Matt's going, "Brrr, goodbye." And then Matt's obviously having to change magazines and stuff like that.
No, I wasn't. That was what
Was
was
you
in
not?
there.
Oh.
I only changed once because the marshal went, "Have you still got ammunition? You've got many magazines left?" And I went, "Yeah, I'm still on my first one." Because fire discipline. This is what I keep telling you.
At this point, I've also got a marshal stood next to me, who I did make laugh rather a lot because of the sniper rifle I was using. It's been on my channel before. The Barrett 50 cal, which stands about this tall off the floor. When the marshal who was stood next to me, Mark, I was stood in a pillbox. So you got a big open, like, letterbox, basically. And I'd got most of the barrel sticking out from there. And the marshal stood next to me goes, "Here, Mark." So I've walked back like 15 feet to get the barrel clear and gone, "Yeah." But he stood next to me. And every time Matt's popping back into cover and they start making a bit more ingress up the bridge, I'm hitting them from 115 metres away with my Barrett 50 cal. Because the way the bridge is designed, it's sort of designed sort of a half a hexagon. So you come up one side and you're a bit out of cut, a bit hidden.
Not
here.
enough for them.
No. Problem being, you get up to about halfway up there, Matt can see them. When you're at the bottom of this bit, the compound where I was stood, about 15 feet further up a hill. So I've got a Barrett 50 cal aiming down. So every time they're sort of, "We'll crawl up, he won't be able to get us." Dink! And I've got the marshal going, "Are you hitting them?" "Yes." "Are you sure?" "Yes." And I've got other players kind of looking through optics and other sniper rifles going, "Well, I can't chuff in hit them." "I can!" And that was stock.
And
Mostly.
this continued for about another 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, the bridge was held for about 15 or 20 minutes in total, just between us two initially after our team getting wiped out. Well, you're probably looking, 5-10 minutes with our team still there. Then another 5 or 10 minutes of just me and Matt. Then, as far as they were aware to begin with, just Matt for about 15 minutes and the occasional 0.4 gram BB going past Matt and hitting enemy players trying to get to the... Yeah. I think they timed out that section, didn't they?
I think I've just kicked the camera. Oops. Yeah. And anyway, I mean, the hilarity carried on because some people... I mean, one guy walked out from behind a building that's on the other side of the bridge, bold as brass, not even looking in my direction. I don't even think he knew I was there. And of course, I lit him up. And he looked ever so shocked. It's not like I'd not been there for a while.
No.
And the marshals were absolutely killing themselves because these guys were trying everything to get hold of this laptop, which happened to be a two-man carry.
Yeah, if you remember right, the rules that day is it took 2 men to carry it and you couldn't shoot whilst carrying it. So you were literally sitting ducks. And obviously they had to get past withering fire of his, and the confusion on their face when he wasn't firing and they were still dying was quite funny because they're going, "He's not firing! How the Well, none of our team was shooting because we'd all fallen back to the compound, except for me.
And the best bit of it was, eventually, somebody must have remembered a tic-tac from somewhere. Well, they'd run out of grenades by this point, so they were starting throwing sticks and pine cones at me. And all I'd see come flying over the bridge was a pine cone. And the pine cone doesn't look much like a grenade. And these things would be landing, and the marshals are laughing. And so as I'm returning fire, I'm shouting at them at the top of my lungs, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but pine cones will never hurt me." And at which point, I think was that when Dom we first met Dom?
It was, yes. Dom was actually marshalling. Dom was stood next to you.
He was in tears.
Yeah,
They did eventually get me.
You'll have had mention of and potentially seen him on some of the gameplay footage. Dom is a marshal at site and he's also a new member this year as well, isn't he?
We've had quite a few this year.
Yeah, we've had 4 new members this year. Actually, player members. I mean, we've got lots of members on the Facebook group and stuff like that, but actual player members that come to site with us. We've had 4 new members this year that all have brown berries. Right, moving on. Chicken dance. This one's a bit of a short one. This is just me being a dick.
Again.
But again, you've heard of this place before, The Fort. Well, me, Matt and Alan, we were all, I think Andy and Helen were there as well, But me, Matt, and Alan were quite close to the front of the action. It was basically a case of you had to get inside the fort, and I can't remember what we had to do, but me and Alan weren't interested in actually doing what we had to do. We was just running around with a pistol each and a shotgun each, and seeing who could get closest to the middle of the fort. Yeah, well, I had a speaker, a Bluetooth speaker, about this big, quite loud. And how I didn't get shot, I don't know. But I walked into the rear door of the fort with, the chicken song? Yeah, I'd got that playing. I had holstered my pistol, I put my shotgun on the floor, and I'm stood in the middle of an 8-foot wide, tunnel, doing the chicken dance. I didn't get shot. Until I decided to draw my pistol and go running in afterwards, but I stood there for about 5 minutes, doing the chicken dance, doing all this stuff and wiggling my backside at the enemy team. Didn't get shot. Don't know how. Maybe that's what they should have done in World War II. Over the top, lad!
Oh, how are we not sectioned?
I think when we play is
Well,
a
yeah.
sanatorium. Sanatorium? Asylum?
Certainly run by the lunatics.
Especially now that I'm one of the marshals, and he's about to be trained to be one of the marshals. Oh dear God. Although when this video goes out, he will have been trained to be one of the marshals.
I know.
So you think of the crazy we get up to just being players. Think when we have,
Now we get to impose it on other people.
which me and Ben do on a regular basis.
Hey, what you and Ben do is up to yourselves.
Well, he did try carrying me off the other week when we arrived at the site, didn't he? When he says, "Oh, give me a cuddle," and he picked me up and walked off with me. My legs wrapped round him.
Anyway, moving very swiftly on.
Yes.
Back to the script, back to
This
the
one,
script.
I will hand over to Matt again, but this one was actually my first day marshalling.
Yes.
There is a point here, a bit further on. I'm still walking funny. But Matt and Alan were playing. It was on the tank field. And I was marshalling. I was stood near the main tank, which is smack bang in, it's actually an APC, but smack bang in the middle of the field. Suddenly hear the Benny Hill theme tune. Looks round.
Yeah, well, me and Alan, being the good sports that we are, we decided to hold up the perimeter netting so everyone could come through. And Alan had been saying how he got one of these speakers. And I said, "Have you got the Benny Hill theme?" While we're letting the players in. He goes, he says, yeah, okay. I said, right, cue it up, and then we'll when we drop this netting, we'll spin round on the spot a couple of times and then run in with the Benny Hill theme going. So we did just that. We spun round and round on the spot, dropped the netting, and in perfect synchronisation ran through probably, 70 or 80 players?
70 to 80 players to the Benny Hill theme tune going, following each other perfectly like that. And of course, my first time marshalling, so trying to keep the players in check.
And he's got us too.
Got these two lunatics dancing around doing a Benny Hill run. And that was the beginning match of the day.
And it went downhill from there.
Which leads us nicely on to the next one, actually, doesn't it?
How is your therapy?
When I say arsehole, it actually is fitting. Well, part of it was because I was marshalling a nice big bright orange target. These two found it quite comical throughout the entire day. I mean, what we're about to tell you about was right at the end of the day, practically, wasn't it?
Yeah, we
One
had
of the last
been...
matches.
We had...
They've been picking on me.
Yeah.
Every single time I crossed their field of vision, I got a BB in the arse, the back, the leg, the hand, from anywhere from about 10 metres and further away. Basically, anytime they thought they spot me, it was a case of just making sure my optics are lined up. Mark. Well, this particular one was playing on the hyperball field, which is made up of basically giant corrugated piping. And some of it's stood up like this, some of it's laying down, some of it's at an angle, basically to give you barricades. Originally used for paintball, but now they've got the inflatable ones. Now we use this for our hyperball field. And I was marshalling, so as a marshal on that field, because it's a small field, you just basically walk up and down the sidelines. We was playing domination, wasn't it? So you've got these metal plates that have to be flipped one side or the other. So we'd called half time, and I had run across the field to reset one of the plates and basically stick it into the ground so it was up like that so it could be flipped either way. Come back, and I vaulted this 2 foot diameter pipe. But as I vaulted it, I got a sharp pain right in my ring piece. Somebody had taken a dirty pot shot at my arse as I...
Well, from my point of view, I saw you walking towards this barricade and I thought, he's not going to vault that, is he? And
he was.
It was like, he is. So, shoulder, aim,
just a single shot.
Just a single one.
Just a single shot, but it was... Put it this way, if I was naked, I would have swallowed it. It was that much of a perfect shot, right in my ring piece.
And it hit him just at the height of his vault.
Yes.
So
so
when he landed, he started doing the chicken dance all over again.
Yeah. So, yay! Ow!
He was stood there hopping around in the middle of the field.
Bear in mind, I'm supposed to be concentrating on what's cracking off on the field at this point. More interested in going, am I bleeding? Am I bleeding?
More interested in checking out your own crack.
I've just had a BB enema.
It was a good shot, though.
It was a good shot, yes, admittedly. This next one proves how much of a glutton for punishment I am, actually. You would have seen this, actually, in one of the previous videos. But myself and Alan, actually, at the time, were talking about how we could pick a winner for the giveaway that I ran. We contemplate, pick a number out of a hat, put a target up at the top board, get a rental player to shoot the target. Well, then we had a smart idea of putting the target on somebody's chest and getting a rental to shoot it with one of our guns. And I said I would do it.
It's your channel.
This is true, yes. So
you want to say it's your channel, you take the punishment.
So, I mean, admittedly, I took precautions. I actually borrowed a full face, a lower face mask and wore me specs and stood there. And unfortunately, the guy wasn't a particularly good shot, was he, bless him? So he borrowed Alan's Thompson, firing .3s. Yeah.
Could have been worse, could have been my 5.56.
True. To be fair, Alan just said, pick a gun to this rental player and you get to shoot Mark with it. But this guy picked the Thompson, one of his more powerful guns that he had with him on that day, and proceeded to first off shoot, and it sort of hit there beside me. Naturally, I filled my underwear. Then
brown line.
Then he managed to shoot me in the neck, and then he shot me in the boobie
Again.
But that picked the number.
Yeah.
No. He shot me in the
His
tit,
first
and
one
it didn't go through.
Didn't
Didn't go through a piece of A4 plain paper. And then he shot me again in the same spot in the nipple, and that actually picked the number. What do I put with that? What?
Try again.
What do I put? Oh, fuck's sake.
Just give up.
It's
Right.
been a long year.
Yeah, it has. Right, this next one, bit of a shout out to one of our sort of fellow YouTubers, going by the name of Dan Bob.
Dan Bob Airsoft. I'll stick a link to the specific video this appears in below. Because...
Are you sure about that?
Yes, in the description.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Because it's worth a watch, because it's quite comical to watch it from his point of view, because he is heard to say on the video, I won't be happy till I get one of the thin brown liners. And there was the three original co-founders, so myself, Matt, and Bonza, Steph, playing, and we decided.
We had a rare moment of not taking the game seriously.
A rare moment. We never take the game seriously, but we decided to utterly take the proverbial, and it was actually on the same game where we had done the epic hold off because we
Yes,
come
it was.
out of the compound, and you sort of come out of the compound, and then you take a long arc back down to basically the rear entrance of the fort. Well, Dan Bob's on top of the fort, because this was whilst the weather was fairly good, so the top of the fort was actually in play because it wasn't too slippy, aiming down to the path where we're all coming round. Well, the three of us lined up just out of range of 90% of the gunners on his team, started doing the can. Obviously, full matching camo gear with our berets, doing the can. Dan managed to hit Steph and then ducked pretty quickly, because the moment Steph went ow hit, we went in his general location.
I think
you got him.
Yeah, one of us certainly got him.
One of us got him, but we both had, I think we both had the auto winder magazine, the 1,000 round auto winder magazine. We both just went dink up in the general direction where the fire came from. But yes, we were doing the can. Or something like that. I can't remember specifically the dance we was doing, but if you check on Dan Bob's video that I'll link down below. I've got to find the chuffing thing first. But yeah, and I'll put a time code next to it where it appears. It's not the clearest because he's had to zoom right in to see us because we were quite a distance away. But,
yeah, but how many players are going to be doing the can?
And how many players are all going to be wearing DPM, wearing brown berets?
Yeah. Anyway.
Moving swiftly on.
Turning up the insanity another notch.
I think the guy involved in this next little bit is still in therapy because I've not seen him at site since.
No, he hasn't come back, has he?
I want my mummy minigun. We've still not seen him at site.
No, this
Or on Facebook.
This lad has not been not been back to site since we did this to him.
Well, we've not seen him back at site.
Yeah.
We go there at least once a month. In fact, over the last couple of months, I've been there every single week, either playing or marshalling. And I've got him on my friends list on Facebook, and I've not seen him post anything on Facebook either since this.
But this one happened yet again on the village. One of our...
We'll have to give a shout out to Tony and Ben,
Yeah.
who at the time were both marshalling at site as well, and were very kind and lent us something.
Yeah. Their HPA minigun.
The classic army micro gun.
2,000 rounds.
2,500 rounds.
In how many seconds?
I think it empties it in about 20 seconds.
It's and they said, do you want to have a play with this? Yeah, says I, because I think your back were playing it, wasn't it? And
I says I'll let him play this time, and I can't remember what I was doing, but
anyway,
yeah, I think it was. Anyway,
so of course I walk out with this thing, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And it was good fun to run around with. You couldn't be massively tactical with it.
Somebody still managed to get behind the enemy team, though.
Yes, yeah. The trouble with running that is when you appear, the enemy team do the following things. To a man, they crap themselves and hide.
Yeah.
Somebody hands out the brave pills, and then they all stand up as in one big group and shoot at you, so you can't pick them off one by one. So I eventually, as he said, I managed to get behind them.
With a minigun. Bear in mind, it was absolutely chucking it down as well. So he was in full waterproofs, with a minigun, and a HPA tank, as well as his normal rig. Managed to sneak behind the enemy team.
And there's one particular building that people are always in, the one with the slanted window building. So I creeped up with all this palaver on. And I sort of looked through the window and I could see this one particular chap sort of stood there at the back of the building, shooting out the front of the building. And I just pointed, he was only 5-6 feet away, so I just propped the minigun in through the window and went, "Do you want to die?" And he turned round and all the blood in his body raced to his feet. And possibly some
I think you went that
things.
white, you nearly turned into Casper. Those of you who are too young to remember Casper, a ghost.
He went absolutely white, and he went, "Hit!" Well, That's the second thing he said. The first thing I probably can't repeat.
Yeah, it was a bit blue for airing on YouTube.
Yeah. It started with O. I remember that much. And yeah, he
Rhymes with muck.
and of course, I was absolutely creasing myself at this point. But yeah, unfortunately, he's not come back since then.
We've not seen him at site. I mean, whether he's been to site or not when we've not been there, but we've not seen him at site, and we've not seen him on Facebook, Instagram, anything since then. Bear in mind, the game carried on for quite a bit after that. He was still white back in the safe zone after the game, because I went up to him to ask him how everything was, and he was like, ah. But remaking his guns, it was mightily amusing. So we've done that one.
Yeah, we're on to the pistol duel now.
Yes, this was also my first time marshalling. Hang on, let me take that off a minute. Ha ha. In case you hadn't noticed, I'm sat next to a radiator and the heating's on. I'm melting!
You should have turned it off. The radiator.
Brain in Britain here. Yeah, besides the fact that it's like -4 outside, you know.
Not.
No, it's not. It's not actually that cold. But anyway, right. I actually...
Told you a million times, don't exaggerate.
So it's not this big. Moving on. Right. We was on the high ball field, which I've previously told you about. I was marshalling, so I witnessed this. You'd got the team that Matt and Alan were on, up this bit of an incline, one end of the field, and you got this other team at the bottom end of the field. Well, obviously Game On was shouting, was playing domination, so you've got a metal plate, red one side, green one side, near where I was stood on the sidelines. You've got same again, smack bang in the middle of the field, and then same again, far side of the field, all in a line. And obviously the object of the game was one side had to flip it green, the other side had to flip it red. Well, this poor lad was he was squarely in the sights of Alan's Thompson, which, I might add, Alan's Thompson, okay, yes, the high ball field isn't one of the biggest fields on the planet, but he can easily hit you in your spawn.
I think most of our guns can,
Yeah, this is true. But he's anyway, this poor guy's firmly in the sights of Alan's Thompson, so he's ducking and diving, trying to dodge this. Thompson, gone. Belts full speed up the field, straight at where we had tactically placed one of the plates. 2 foot diameter, corrugated, I'm not sure what it's made out of, but corrugated plastic basically, pipe, and then a downright one about 6 or 7 inches in diameter as well. And we'd placed it in sort of that bit of it, there. He's come belting along, head down, and ran full pelt straight into the downright. We had to, it's the only time
Since you've started
since I've started marshalling, and since as well, so yeah. And it was only the 3rd time I've ever heard it shouted. We had to call a ceasefire because this lad was on his face, not moving. So me and Ben, who was lead marshal for the day, we've gone over and sort of kicked him, made sure he's still alive, picked him up, and he's sort of like that. I'm okay. Brushed him off, and he's gone, I might sit out for the rest of this match. Properly knocked himself out, the poor sod. He was back at site last week as well, actually. I'm quite proud of him. And then he did actually get back up and carry on playing. Well, that match ended up being a draw because you had to get so many points, and we flipped round. So those at the top were at the bottom and vice versa. So it was a dead heat. So then how we normally resolve dead heats is a pistol duel. KO boy puts his hand up to be their pistol duel victim player. Alan has got a P226 which fires about that far below sight limit. Well, as we uttered the word pistol duel, we didn't even get that far. He was like, me, I'll do it. So Alan and KO boy, henceforth be known as Knockout, lined up, did their paces, spun round. Well, this lad dropped to the floor thinking that Alan was going to aim for a headshot. It's not Alan's first radio. He wasn't aiming for a headshot. He aimed about midsection instantly. So when Laddo dropped to the floor, all Alan did was follow him down. Wasn't Well, it wasn't the head that he bumped that got hit.
It was the other end.
Yeah, he left the field talking like a drunk Joe Pasquale. He'd taken a knock to that head and a knock to that head. But yeah, he
got his money's worth. That.
Oh, he got his money's worth, and we found it mightily amusing as well.
Oh, Shotgun
Sally. We've mentioned him before.
Yeah.
I really need to remember his name. I think it's Jamie. Might be. But you.
Again, he's another one we
You know
haven't
who
seen.
you are. No. We have seen him quite often. He's just as nuts as us. I mean, last summer he was running down. Bearing in mind what game we play here, he was running around the village with obviously camo bottoms on, but nothing on his top other than a couple of bits of electric tape across his nipples.
He's not right in the head.
With an AK-47 in his hand and a drum mag. That's how he was running the game. This is why we get on with him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, this particular game, it was
a pushback.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually a push forwards technically because it was going the opposite way.
Yeah, didn't they have to get it was like a bomb retrieval stroke pushback kind of
Yeah,
thing.
normally, say the safe zone's here, normally the pushback sort of goes away from the safe zone. So we'll go from this field to this field to this field. Well, this time we turned it around and we was coming back down towards the safe zone. Not that it makes a huge amount of difference, but anyway.
No. Anyway, the objective was, I don't know, about 12 feet in front of me. And me being me, I'm tucked up in a bush, as snug as a bug in a rug. With
bush.
Yeah. I've got diplomacy with me.
Some of you will remember that is the 6-barreled Muscat launcher.
Which I put to good use that day, particularly defending this particular objective.
Yeah.
And Shotgun Sally, as usual, was leading from the front, and he kept trying to get the objective. Unfortunately, me, diplomacy, and the 5.56.
I'll add at this point, there was a metric F-ton of smoke grenades being laid down, so you couldn't see what was in front of your face.
But you could see silhouettes.
Yeah, there was when he started with this, the smoke had just started clearing after he got killed, wasn't it?
So I'm hiding there nice and sneakily in the bush. And he comes out. I open up with a 5.56. So he picks himself up. Foxtrot Oscar's up the field. A couple of minutes later, comes back. And again, I see his silhouette through the smoke. So I open up. Well, no, I used diplomacy that time. Because he had the other lad with him and it scared the crap out of him because he goes, ka-dum, when it
doesn't hurt, it just goes ka-chunk.
And they Foxtrot Oscar'd again. Anyway, this time he decided he was going to come in full pelt. Which was fine by me because by this time I picked up the 5.56 again. And I saw him come in and lit him up. And after he picked himself up off the floor, he's stomping off. And he's shouting, "And I knew you were in there!" So I just shout after him, "Well, you should have shot me then."
I think he was shouting things like, "I knew you was there, and it's always you in there." He is a good laugh, that lad, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one had the whole site, other than the main guy involved, laughing. Now, I don't think we've actually got any footage of Alan wearing it, but Alan got just a cheapo, but a ghillie suit. It's actually really good, isn't it? For what it cost him, it's really good. But Alan bought a ghillie suit. And this is the first, I think it's the only time he's worn it as well, but it's the first time Alan wore it on site. And
yeah,
again,
me and him both took our ghillie suits out.
yes. And he walked out of the safe zone onto the game area that was playing on, wearing his ghillie suit. Well, halfway through the match, he took his ghillie suit off, dumped it in a bush, and off up the map. And obviously was basically shooting back down towards his own ghillie suit. Well, towards the end of the match, one particular player, I don't know who it was because I didn't see it firsthand, but one particular player was shooting at a ghillie suit. Started getting a little bit annoyed. Shouted Daz, one of the marshals, over, and was giving him lip. "Oh, he's in a ghillie suit, he's not taking his hits." So Daz goes, "Yes, it's a ghillie suit." "No, exactly, he's not taking his hits." So Daz has done nothing more, walked over, picked up the ghillie suit and going, "Yes, it's just a ghillie suit." which he took great pleasure in once the game over was called and everybody was congregated together, telling us all.
Maybe that's why that guy hasn't been back.
I say, I don't even know who it was, but it was, yeah. He didn't find it very funny. Everybody else found it mightily amusing.
Oh, yeah.
He's not taking his hits. Yes, it's because it's a ghillie suit. Yeah, no, he's not taking his hits. No, it is just a ghillie suit. I must admit, it does make quite a good way of getting free ammo. Because when Alan picked up the ghillie suit and we got back to the safe zone, I went like that. Probably about 200 or 300 rounds dropped out of it.
Oh, dear.
And we are going to finish off with, we've called it Dancing in the Dark. Again, I was marshalling.
And we weren't shooting at you.
All I will say is, at the end of what he's going to tell you about, all I could hear was, well, all I could see was him and Alan come stepping out of a building, giggling like schoolgirls.
Well, we're back on the village again. Seems to be a good place for insanity, the village.
The village and the fort are our two favourite places for daft things.
And they decided to. It was a capture the bomb game, wasn't it?
I think it was also getting a bit late in the day as well.
Yeah, so it was a quick capture the bomb game. The idea was, this was when poor old Ben got on the wrong side of my whip, wasn't it?
Yes.
With the bomb. The bomb that particular day was a little sort of hand grenade with a couple of flashy lights on it, and when Ben showed it up to us, he made the mistake of going, "Yeah, I'm sorry, it's a bit small." To which I went, "Is that what she said last night?" And he sort of looked at me and went, "Very quick as always." To which I responded with, "Is that what she said as well last night?" He didn't speak to me after that.
No, he was a bit quiet.
He left me alone. Anyway. I said to Alan, because like I said, it's getting late in the day, we're all a bit tired. I said, let's go into the slanted window building. I said, hide behind the baffles in there in the dark. And usually what happens is the defending team hides the bomb at the furthest point from the attackers. And the idea was that everyone would just go running past, quick look in, see there was nobody there and go running past us.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
No, well it did. The first lot of enemy players went past, and me and Alan were sort of looking at each other because we're sat across from each other in the dark, and it's like, wow, we've got away. The idea was we would come up behind them and shoot them. Unfortunately, a couple of the people on the enemy team happened to be army cadets and used it as an opportunity to practice their building clearance skills. Well, they didn't think there was anybody in this building when they came in. So these two lads came round the baffles and literally we were nose to nose with them. The poor lad that came round on my side, well, he used language his mother wouldn't approve of. Absolutely crapped himself. And then, of course, me and Alan had already opened up on the pair of them. The poor lad in front of me got shot by both me and Alan. The lad that came around Alan's side, he shot Alan, and then he turned around and looked at me and he went, are you hit? And I went, are you hit? And we both sort of looked at each other in that sort of awkward silence, and then both just went at each other. So me and Alan come stumbling out of this building, absolutely.
It was like a pair of drunks at kicking out time, 2:00 in the morning. They were practically holding on to each other to stand up, and all I got was them both the same colour as this fecking thing, in stitches coming out the door, and I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah, but what made it even more funny was the fact that there were actually 6 of these kids in this building, and we, obviously once we'd been here, we just stumbled out in tears of laughter, and these 6 kids come out with a sort of dazed look on their faces, and the 2 that were nose to nose with me and Alan were a bit shaken, weren't they?
Yeah, not sure whether to laugh, cry, or just go home and crawl into bed like that.
But yeah, when he came around that baffle in the building, he'd already convinced himself he was going to see nothing, and there's this sat there with a 5.56 aiming straight at his face.
Which most of you will know is loud when you're in an open space. You put it in a dinky little building.
Oh God.
But that rounds us up nicely, ready for 2020. More crazy ass stuff coming.
Yeah, and we're marshalling this year.
Yeah, now we're going to be intermingling playing with marshalling. Those poor souls. Bearing in mind, he's witnessed how maniacal and satanic me and Ben are as marshals.
And now you're just going to get
You
me
add
too.
him into the mix.
Oh, yeah.
That
Well,
should
you
be
did make the
interesting.
mistake of asking me. Ben made the mistake of asking me to think up things to do on one of the Hyperball games.
And they just made the mistake of making me a marshal. Bearing in mind, even marshalling, I'm running around with a fucking great speaker on, playing music and dancing up and down the field. In fact, one guy, last time we was playing, I was following the team that I was marshalling up one side, and they were shooting away. And I think it was the Dam Busters theme tune come on. And I'm walking past, and I'm taking the mickey. I'm doing a Winston Churchill. I'm walking up, trying to spur the team on to attack the fort, actually. And I'm going, we'll fight them on the beaches, we'll fight them on the shores, never give up, never surrender. And this guy turns around and goes, what are you on about, Marshall? And got shot. You're fucking fool! And then last week he was there and I had music going. And he goes, I'm not coming near you when your music's going, I get shot. He stayed miles away from me no matter where I was.
Surprised you weren't chasing him around the field.
I thought about it, but obviously I still have a job to do. Not just wind up the players. But yes, that rounds out nicely. I mean, there's probably a lot more but we kind of forgot to make a list of it, and then we sat here just before starting the film of the video going, crap, what have we got up to this year? And then we was coming up with things and going, was that last year? Was that the year before? Was it this year? And then we actually had to go on this channel and look back over some of the videos to try and work out what's actually happened. So if there are any repetitions, forgive us. We're getting old. A lot of you are probably watching, you know, in your early 20s, and we're not. We're not. We're getting old. Our memories aren't what they used to be.
Have they ever been?
No.
Who said what?
Who?
What?
I can't remember what was on about.
What are we doing?
Camera. Ah, yes,
Yeah.
filming. Right.
Oh, right. Right, where's the script?
So, right,
You're
welcome
like-
back to the... How many people do you reckon have tuned out now? Stop watching. But yes. Oh, God. There's no point me telling you about the Airsoft Big Sunday, because that will have been and gone by the time this is uploaded. But if you were there, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God. Yeah.
Cut.
Yeah. 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 If you like what you see and enjoy the insanity, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon for being notified when a video is uploaded. They've been a bit haphazard recently because I've had a lot going on. But in 2020, I will be back to uploading at least once a week again. Unless the kids are off, and then it's, might get one of them to hold placards, cue cards for me. Daddy, what you need to say now is this. Why have you written off in crayon? Oh no, that's my writing. But anyway, so it's a goodbye from me, and it's
A hello from me.
thanks for watching.